Three, two, one. We are live. Welcome back, everybody, to the Referral Partner Acquisition Show. I'm your host, Will Anagnos, here in the Referral Partner Acquisition Group. Hope you're all having a wonderful week. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. If you're new to the show and you don't know who I am, my name is Will Anagnos. I'm the owner of WA Marketing Solutions. I also run this group. And for the last 7+ years, I've been helping loan officers and mortgage brokers grow their referral network of referral partners so that they can close more loans and have a much happier business with systems and processes and referral partners at the end of the day. If you are a returning visitor, welcome back. Please let me know that you're here by slapping that like button, or if you want to show me some love, slap that heart button. I would appreciate it. And I am here live, and I'm here live if you're new to the show every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern. Every Wednesday we're here teaching you tips, tricks. Sometimes I'm just motivating you on what you know you need to be doing but are not doing, and all related to helping you, a mortgage professional, grow your mortgage business, but not in a transactional way, but in the relationship, following the relationship model. That's how we help. That's what we've been doing for a long time. So if you're a returning visitor, viewer, welcome back. If you're new, welcome for the first time. Again, every Wednesday I'm here. If you have any questions, if you want to ask me anything, you can do that right now in the comments. Drop a question. Tell me what you want to learn about. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell me where you're struggling. And that helps me create future episodes more customized to what you need. So, because there are almost 2,000 people in this group and everyone needs something different. So, welcome to today's episode. Today's topic is it's going to be more of a unscripted, off the cuff, not rant, but this is something that a lot of people just need to hear. And that's the comparison between traditional networking and virtual networking. For the longest time, since before technology was around, the way you met realtors, the way you met divorce attorneys, referral partners in general, the way you met them is by networking. So when you hear the word networking, you immediately think of getting out of your house, getting out of your comfort zone, and going to new places, maybe places that you've gone to before, every week, every month, every weekend, open houses, uh, realtor association events, sponsorship events, golf outings, lunch and learns. That's what people think of when they think of networking, because for the longest time, that's what networking is. That's traditional, conventional networking. And even with technology, it's funny, we can connect with people instantly through our phones, through our computers, from the comfort of our own homes, from our own home offices, from our desks. We can be across the country, we can be next door neighbors, and we can connect with people online. However, that being said, I still find people trying to use conventional or traditional networking strategies because that's really all they know. Their brain is what they've trained themselves, or someone maybe has coached them to do this. Or if you've never been coached, then that's just that's your gut feeling. That's your what's the word I'm looking for? Not gut feeling. Your instinct is to, oh, I need a network. That means I need to get out of my house. When the reality is you don't have to. And while it's good to actually physically get out there, that's nothing wrong with that. What I see is especially new loan officers, they tell me, especially if I'm on the phone with them, they'll be like, I'm trying to grow my business organically. I'm trying to build genuine relationships with my community by getting out there and doing things and creating events and getting my name out there that way. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're a struggling loan officer and you're doing that, then you understand that it can be exhausting getting in your car. First of all, let's take a step back. Waking up early, getting the right attire, clothes, getting out and driving in traffic, waiting in line for your coffee, treating people out, the whole back and forth. I don't know if I said traffic already. And then all of that just for maybe one coffee meeting, or if you're setting up an event, then the whole, that entire process of creating an event and going to the event and putting on the event and doing that whole thing, that can take up the whole day. It can be exhausting. And doing it a couple times is great. But when you've done it year after year, or I would say week after week or month after month, you will get tired. And you'll even get more tired if you don't have any loans or any business to justify all the energy you're spending. And so my model has always been we have technology. You don't have to hustle anymore unless that's what you love to do. If you're the kind of person who loves to wake up in the morning, smell the coffee, and and just with a lot of energy, and just like you're kind of a wired person. And oops, I just shook the mic. You're a wired person. And you want to get out there. If that's you, that's awesome. But for most people, especially introverts who are trying to make it in this business, it can be scary. It can be tiring. It can be exhausting. And a lot of people face burnout and sometimes even leave the business. And then they're like, well, I just wasted a year or two or three and that didn't work out. Nobody wants to be in that situation. And I certainly don't want you to be in that situation either, since I know there's solution to that problem. And so even today, I see people telling me, I'm going to go out there and get my name out there. I'm going to build organic relationships. And I'm going to do it the hustle way. I'm going to hustle and I'm going to hustle for the next couple of years. And that's going to be my way. The issue I have with that is that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And depends on the personality and how much you can endure. And when you have the alternative to do all your networking virtually, that's the argument today. You have traditional networking and virtual networking. With virtual networking, if you know what you're doing, if you're following a proven strategy online, and instead of getting out there, driving in traffic, if you live in, I don't know, if you live in Las Vegas or Florida or Southern California and it's always hot, then you have to deal with that whole element. If that's exhausting for you, you can still build genuine, organic, mutually beneficial relationships with real estate agents and financial advisors and divorce attorneys. You can do all of that without hustling. That's the first point I want to make today. I don't think a lot of you know that. You think, a lot of people tell me, you can't help me because I want to build organic relationships, genuine relationships, on my own. And you can still do that. They can still be genuine. They can still be organic. They can still be on your own, but without waking up early, getting out of your house, driving around, uh, setting up events, coffee meetings, lunches, treating people out. If that works for you, that's great. But what I hear a lot of people telling me is that they'll do all of that. They'll pay for lunch, they'll pay for coffee, and then they'll never hear from that realtor or whoever they're meeting ever again. And is hustle, I mean, I know some people are still in like the hustle culture mindset, but you don't have to do all that. You can still get a coffee meeting with someone without all the legwork. And you can even kind of not guarantee, because you can't guarantee anything, but you can even kind of pre-handle the possibility of that coffee meeting not going well or it being the wrong person. And let me explain. You can still build genuine relationships by connecting on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can make those connections online, have a quick phone call with someone to see if it's a good fit, and then meet them for coffee. And at that point, they already like, know, and trust you. They've seen your social media appearance, your reputation. You've pre-screened them on like a 15-minute, like, hey, I want to introduce myself call. And now you're going to get in traffic. Now you're going to go buy them coffee or lunch. Now you're going to spend, $200 on sushi, knowing that you know who you're dealing with at this point. And it's still an organic relationship. You met online, that's still organic. You're meeting them now in person, that's still genuine. But this time you're driving back home minus $200, minus gas, minus all the time that you've spent, minus all the energy that you've spent. But you're probably going to feel a lot better on that drive home from that meeting that you pre met on a phone call, which you pre connected online, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. What am I missing? Threads. I don't know if that even has an inbox, but the point is, you can still build genuine organic relationships without the hustle. A lot of people don't know that. So I'm here to tell you. Now, the next question is, okay, well, how? Well, if you watch any of the videos, if you can scroll down here, or you can go to our YouTube channel, WA Marketing Solutions YouTube channel, I go over the how in all those episodes. And so I'm not going to really go too deep into that today, but I cover all of that in past episodes and I will in future episodes. In today's episode, I just wanted to let my viewers know that that exists. You can virtually network because it has the benefits and outweighs the advantages of traditional networking. And I don't blame you for thinking that that's the way to do things. First of all, most of you don't know how to virtually network. And if you've tried it, you've probably given up because it didn't work within the first couple of months. It probably didn't work fast enough. But imagine starting conversations every single day and not skipping a day for 3, 6, 9, 12 months. That builds on each other. At that point, you're having hundreds, if not, if you're doing this for years, thousands of communications with thousands of different people instead of going out to one meeting and that's it and you never hear from them again, and then going out to this meeting and then going back home and maybe you'll hear back from them if it went well, if they like you, if all that. Too many ifs. Way too many ifs. But when you do it on social media, when you're virtually networking online, you can cast a wide net, a much wider net than you can do in person. I tell all my clients and everyone I talk to, I'm going to help you connect with 3,000 realtors in the next half year. Do you think you can do that on your own using traditional methods? And the answer is no. You don't have the capacity, the bandwidth, the time to shake 3,000 hands over the next 6 months. You may be able to do that over the next couple of years, but do you want to grow your business sooner than later? The answer is always yes. I want to close more loans sooner than later, everyone tells me, for obvious reasons. So, first of all, that virtual networking, that is a thing. It's how a lot of people are growing their business. It's how a lot of people are bypassing the cold calling. It's how they're bypassing driving in traffic just to realize that that meeting did not go well. It's bypassing treating the wrong people out for coffee. It's bypassing objections because if you're networking on social media, if someone doesn't want to meet with you, they're going to say no thanks. And then you don't have to worry about anything after that. You don't have to worry about follow up. They already said no. No means no, and that's great. You can filter those people out, and what you're left with is people who actually want to chat with you. So if you reach out to 100 people and 90 say no, but 10 say yes, all your energy and focus and attention goes to those 10 people. And when that happens, you're in a much more positive mood because you're directly talking to people who want to meet with you instead of worrying about the other 90 people who don't want to meet with you. Like they said no, no means no, and you forget about them. You can just focus on this. Whereas with cold calling or cold emailing or any sort of cold outreach, or even cold, face to face, you don't know if they like you, you don't know if you're saying the right stuff, you don't know, how you look, if it's there's a lot of what ifs, especially, if you're self-conscious about X, Y, and Z. And so that's why I recommend if traditional networking and hustling is what you want to do, that's great. But you have to know that it is the slower path to growing a referral network. It just is. When you figure out how to do it virtually, it's faster, it requires less energy, it requires significantly less time, and you typically will get a better result if you don't give up. You just can't give up. Just like, and the same rule applies if you're out there hustling. If you're out there networking in the old-fashioned way, you're doing that year after year, it's exhausting. It's going to be exhausting no matter what. But if you never give up, it's going to work out. But do you want to hustle for 6 years and then it will work out? Or do you want to kind of have an easier route, working smarter versus harder and accomplish your goals in half the time? Obviously, you want to do the second thing. So let me just see the chat if we have any comments here. I don't think so. So yeah, I do want to share my screen, just share with you guys something here. So this is a little diagram that we made just to kind of give you a visual on how much time and energy you may be actually investing in yourself. So this is your time. This entire bar, this is your time that you spend. Now remember, time is money, guys. Why do we make money? So that we can get our time back. So just remember that time is money. If you spend 5 hours a day networking and you average your time at $100 an hour, you've really spent $500 per day in your time. Okay. So it's really important to know the value of an hour of your time. So on the left-hand side, you have networking yourself, especially if you're new. And then you have a system that helps you do it on social media, online. Or even when I say system, I don't mean robots and AI, and I mean just mean a process, a step-by-step process. Now that process can include AI and it can include systems, but it doesn't have to. So when you're networking yourself, you got to do three main things to grow your referral network. You need to find prospects. You need to connect with them. Those are two different things. First, you got to find them. Then once you find them, you have to reach out and connect with them. Then after that, you got to nurture them. But there's a lot of legwork involved. There's a lot of driving, traffic, back and forth. It's probably hot outside or cold outside. You have to figure out what you're wearing. You got to be there on time. You have to spend time. It may take all day depending on where you're going. Cold outreach, if you're doing cold calling or cold emailing or any sort of cold outreach. Or if you're doing it cold outreach on social media because you're doing it wrong. Social media outreach is supposed to be warm. If you're doing any sort of cold outreach, that's going to take a lot of time, energy. People don't like doing cold outreach. And then I wrote cold DMs because a lot of people will cold text message individuals or cold social media, and that takes a lot of time. Connecting with prospects. When you're connecting with people, you may get rejections, such as objections. And actually, rejections is just no thanks. Objections looks like I'm not interested. I already have 5 lenders. You don't work in my area. I have existing relationships. I only work with local lenders. Not right now. My favorite, I'll keep you in mind. So that's not fun. That's a lot of things that you have to hurdle. Or you overcome those hurdles and for lunch. And if you're watching this episode, and you've treated a realtor out for lunch or coffee, and it didn't work out, you never heard from them ever again, or they never reciprocated or helped you or did anything, you just lost touch. Please let me know in the comments below. It's going to help people kind of realize that this happens, especially if it hasn't happened to them yet. Because it does happen. I have screenshots. Someone spent like $174 on sushi, and that realtor never called him again. Not cool. You don't have to do those things though. And then when you're nurturing prospects, sometimes you get ghosted. You have to follow up. It takes a lot of time. And it feels like you're brown nosing and you're chasing, and you don't want to do that. But a lot of people are doing all of this. And so I want to take you, for example, you, the viewer who's watching this. If you're doing all of this, if you're finding prospects on your own, connecting with them on your own, and trying to nurture them on your own, and going through all this, what are your results? Everyone's results are going to be different. Out of all the time that you've spent doing all these things, what are your results? Now compare that to having a system that works for you, a system, whether not automation, not AI, just step-by-steps, just a process that is proven, that finds prospects for you, that connect with prospects for you, that nurtures prospects for you. When I say for you, I really mean with you because nothing's going to be done completely autonomously. You still have to be there. You bypass all the negatives that I've talked about here. And what are our results? If you want to see what our results are, go to wamarketingsolutions.com and see them for yourself. I'm not going to go over that today. But this visual is just to demonstrate what you may be doing legwork wise and how you don't have to, as long as you have a system set up that helps you. Um, where is the, where is it? I'm looking for, I'm looking for the stop sharing button. Where are you? Oh, there it is. So that visual is just to kind of share with you, like maybe you didn't realize, wow, I'm doing a lot of lake work and this is what I'm getting out of it. Out of all of the energy, all the time I'm spending, I'm just closing X per month. If you know that you have the potential to do more, but something is hindering you, you've hit a roadblock, then it's probably that you don't have a systemized setup. And again, not AI, not automation, but a step by step, a series of steps that you follow that are proven to get a specific result over a specific amount of time. That's typically what everyone needs in any business, not just mortgages, in any business. So I hope that you guys found today's episode valuable. I hope that you learn something from my screenshot, from what I've gone over, the differences between traditional networking and virtual networking. If you're new to the business, maybe you didn't know even virtual networking was possible. Yes, it is. You don't need to get out of your house to meet 5 realtors. You can sit at your desk in the comfort of your own home and meet 100 realtors in a week. And as long as you've set yourself up properly, where they see you and your reputation looks good and they go, huh, that's interesting. I want to meet with this person. As long as your outreach is appropriate, as long as you're talking to the right people, your targeting is right, and you have a process that you're following that you know works, that you've tested, then you're going to bypass all the negatives and just focus on people who want to meet with you. And that may mean less work, it may mean less conversations, but you'll have more quality conversations and more time to do the things that you actually enjoy doing. So, thanks for being with me on today's episode. My name is Will Anagnos here on the Referral Partner Acquisition Show, here in the Referral Partner Acquisition Group. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And again, if you have any questions, drop them down below. If you need any help, there's a link in this group so you can book a one-on-one call with me to see if we can help you. All right. Have a great rest of your week. I love you guys and see you on the next one. See ya.